Hey, Leslie. Yeah, that's right. Crypto is about a lot more than just Bitcoin next year. I've been talking to some of the top CEOs and investors in this space. The big thing that they're really watching is regulation. For Bitcoin, keep an eye on some of the cross-border payments and investor movement as well. But on regulation, that really is the big thing they're watching. There's also a focus on building applications on top of blockchains. Some call that Web3, and new uses for NFTs as well, Bitcoin adoption, and what they're calling a brain drain from big tech. On regulation, this year really laid the groundwork in Washington, especially with recent hearings. Expect Treasury to pay more attention to stablecoins and financial stability, crypto-specific bills, some updates on a central bank digital currency, and a push for a spot Bitcoin ETF. CEOs, though, still see what happens in D.C. as the biggest uncertainty right now in the space.
You could imagine a well-intentioned regulatory posture on stablecoins that maybe even semi-accidentally ends up soft banning them in the United States, right? I think there is risk that the regulatory framework ends up not working out in the US, and that really creates a lot of headwind for this space. I'm optimistic that won't happen.
On Web3, some expect tension between Silicon Valley companies like Meta and more native crypto startups, which are trying to build decentralized versions of social networks and their own metaverse. NFTs, meanwhile, are evolving beyond just art into things like club memberships and assets within video games. And there are questions over which blockchains developers will choose to build on. It's been Ethereum so far, but challengers like Solana and Avalanche are becoming viable options as well. And for Bitcoin, keep an eye on sovereign adoption. As I mentioned, after El Salvador's big moves, people are also watching cross-border payments and things like the Lightning Network, which tend to speed up those payments, as well as institutional adoption. And finally, that brain drain I mentioned, CEOs tell me that they have gotten a lot more applications from big tech and from Wall Street. Guys.